Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio Dr. Mariane Ngoulla. Dr. Mariane, originally from Cameroon,
yes,
French speaking.
Yes, Father.
Those people who oppress our English speaking, whatever. French speaking from Cameroon, but has been in Nigeria for nearly 20 years, back and forth, right?
Back and forth, yes.
Yeah,
Father.
for nearly 20 years. So you're a Nigerian now. I mean, you know how to eat jollof rice?
Yes, we have learned to
you know about
swallow.
Egusi soup, swallow.
Yes, swallow.
So you're Nigerian for all practical purposes. She's a public health specialist and works as an advisor to ECOWAS, to sometimes World Health Organization, sometimes European Union. Has taken active part in the responses of these agencies, these global agencies for HIV,
Yes.
for Ebola,
Malaria.
for malaria, rollback malaria, and so on and so forth. She's been doing all this. And then she has a passion. Her passion is building peace, promoting peace. And that's why she set up Taguna movement to promote peace in Africa. She will tell us about it sometime. Now, but Dr. Ngoulla, we are here to discuss World Day of Peace. I'm told that September 21st.
Yes, Father.
Tell us about it.
September 21st has been set aside by the United Nations to celebrate peace in the whole world. And on that day, it is expected that there will be ceasefire and the activities will be carried all over the world to remember that we need peace for the whole world. And the theme of this year is better recovery to have a sustainable and equitable and sustainable world.
Better recovery, meaning from HIV, from COVID-19.
Corona, yes, COVID-19. Mm-hmm.
To have
an equitable and a sustainable world, so that we can make what happened that has not been so good, at least as we want to start again, let us start on the right way.
But basically, those who proclaim the World Day of Peace are calling for ceasefire.
Yes, on the 21st of September. And within Nigeria, it has been agreed that it will be extended at least till 1st of October, being the Independence Day. But the promotion is something that should be all over the whole year long. So
we're talking of ceasefire.
Ceasefire, yes.
It's ceasefire, meaning an end to all hostilities.
All hostilities.
Husband and wife that are quarreling, ceasefire.
It should be good to start within ourselves so that we can be able to extend it out there.
Employers and employees that are fighting, ceasefire. Ceasefire.
Yes, towards resolution of the conflict, isn't it?
Doctors that are striking against government,
ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
Yes. Yes.
Can we include that?
I think so, because peace is a holistic approach. Peace is not just the guns that are shooting all over, because before you reach there is because there is no stability, there is no peace inside the individuals, no peace in the society, and that's why we need to really address the different areas. And that's what is being promoted this year with the Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution, with the agency that is coordinating the activities toward the World Peace Day.
Okay, Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution is coordinating the various activities.
Yes, sir.
So you have mentioned ceasefire now, and I've been listing, the various groups that could have hostilities. What about bandits in Nigeria, kidnappers in Nigeria, insurgents in Nigeria? Is there any communication with them that there be ceasefire?
This year on the 16th of September, there was a press conference where the Director General of the Institute presented what is being done. And this year, he highlighted the fact that they have incorporated in the committee the armed forces and the defense to see how they can also be part actively, and so that we can achieve this ceasefire, which includes security issues, which include the bandits, so they have been working. And it didn't start just now, but it's something that has been preparing for months ago.
Now, my question is that, is there any mechanism to reach Boko Haram, to reach bandits in Zamfara and Kaduna and Katsina, to reach those that are giving us such serious headache with violence today? Is there any communication with them so that they too can observe ceasefire from 21st of September?
And I think those different agencies that are part of the committee, they have these different, you have the civil defense, you have the army, the military, the air force, all of them are part of it, and each one who is playing the role that is his own. And I believe that effort has been ongoing to achieve something significant, at least to start.
To start with. Well, let's pray that the bandits will listen. Because I wonder, the kind of human beings that form the bandits, do they understand what is called ceasefire?
I don't think so, but we have to make all the effort possible for it to stop, not just to cease for a certain time. We have to put an end to insecurity, because it doesn't benefit anybody. Even the bandits and long term, they have to live, they have children and they have family that they have to live in an environment that should be conducive at any point of time. So it might be for a moment, they might think that they have upper hand, but the negative effect...
At the end of the day, nobody really benefits.
Nobody benefits. And they will find out. And we hope that by the time they find out, it's not too late for everybody.
They say that all forms of war or conflict always end at the dialogue table.
Yes, so why don't we make all the effort? As we always said, even the war in Europe, who lasted 100 years, ended around a table of dialogue. So we really have to promote all the means that you have to reach out to people to dialogue.
No, as you say this, I understand what you are saying, but I'm saying the people we have in the bushes that are terrorizing us, many of them are on drugs, we are told. Many of them have been brought up without any morals, without any education. So how do you communicate this message of ceasefire and peace to them?
I think there have been some attempts at different levels, isn't it? And they've even reached some agreement of amnesty that has worked and never worked. But there is always somebody that is the leader that can be reached out to, because when they're kidnapped, they still come out to ask for ransom. They still have a communication way. So it's important to have to take decision on how to put an end to it. Dialogue, yes, but action should follow.
So what for this World Peace Day, what have been put in place? You mentioned that National Institute of Peace and Conflict Management is coordinating it. So what kind of activities nationwide do you envisage should be happening, will be happening, or should be happening?
There is a platform. The Institute on Peace and Conflict Resolution is working with different agencies, both government, international agencies, and civil society organization. So they have called if we want to do something wherever they are in there and to take responsibility. So because they say peace is something that calls for each one of us, and each one of us can play a role. So we have the usual partners from the United Nations that are part of the committee, UNESCO. You have some NGOs, you have also some government agencies, and they have highlighted and listed some series of activities in the different areas. And they also want to have, this year, they make sure that they will have activities not just within Abuja, but within the whole country. So the Institute, they have some zonal office in different countries in different parts of the country, and they have been liaising with them to ensure that they too carried out activities and ceasefire in a region like Niger Delta, going to the community and so on.
Do you foresee any activities happening, let's say, on social media? Because you see, among those who promote violent sentiments are bloggers and people who make posts, who exchange violent posts on social media. So what kind of things can we do to reach out to social media celebrities and influencers so that their posts can also promote peace?
Okay, also in the committee, you have the Guild of Artists that are part of it, and the actresses and actors, and they are also partners. So they have been developing some tags so that they can do just what you said, being part of passing messages of peace within. So the Institute has a platform, hashtag Ceasefire in Nigeria, World Peace Day, to ask people to retweet to share the hashtag.
Retweet and share. No, Twitter. We are told Twitter is coming back. Maybe part of the ceasefire will be the federal government will cease fire on suspending Twitter, right?
But it will help. Twitter will help to pass the message. But as you said, all sorts of messages are being passed. So it's important to make sure that the voice of peace is always louder than the voice of war. Yes, all the negative and the hatred messages should always be silenced by the louder message that we are making.
Which should be messages of peace.
Of peace, yes. So that's what we are trying to say. No matter what people say, let us always make the voice of peace louder than the rest.
Unfortunately, peace is the sound of peace is the sound of silence. Many times. Yes. The sound of peace. Look at the story of Elijah in the desert. 1 Kings chapter 19. The sound of peace is the sound of silence. And the very loud noises are often the noise of war and the noise of violence and violent language and violent exchanges. What do you say about that?
Yes, and we can also make a peaceful noise.
Yes.
I can say that by using not the words of violence, but the words of kindness, words of sweetness, the words of compassion, and then remind people that the world is not just about negativity, the world of positivity, because this is what the world is meant to. Everything is geared to harmony. If we have to be able to present in symphony where the beauty of this life is, not to allow the noise of war to be there. We should make a peaceful noise. That one is possible. Yes, but
of course it is possible.
Yes.
And they need to teach people and to keep educating people about non-violent communication. Because the violence we see played outside already starts playing from inside, in thought,
yes,
then in words. How do we get settled about training people in non-violent communication?
I think it has to start. It shouldn't be an academic thing. It should be a day-to-day affair. So it should start within the home.
From childhood.
From childhood. The way the parents address themselves in front of the children, and the way the children we have to learn from there. They respect the sacred words, as I used to call them. Please, sorry, thank you. Can you assist me?
You know, it was Pope Francis who brought out those key expressions.
Yes.
Please. I am sorry. Thank you. That those are sacred words that will make for peace in families, in
any society, any setup. Yes. But it seems to be difficult for people to say, as I give you this, just say thank you. It's like, no, it's not be for now. It should be, this is too much. Why should I say thank you? Say thank you.
After all, you are doing your work. Why should I say thank you?
I remember somebody told me one day that he was surprised that when the driver that used to drive me, he stopped and said thank you. I said, yes, why not? And this is how it starts. It has to be a way of life. It's not that I took this course, this training, and have this certificate in non-violence. No. It is a day-to-day affair, just like peace. It's a daily affair. It should become a reality.
Yeah, that Nigerians should learn that you go to buy food in the restaurant. You pay for it, yes. But when the waiter brings the food, you say, thank you.
Thank you. And if you want some more, if you want water or something, you say, please. Yes, in the house. When the parent, even if when the wife brings something to the husband,
they say thank you.
You say thank you. If you need something, you say please, can I have? Yes.
And then if you mistakenly what you say, I'm sorry.
And then the world will be better. Those are the joyful noise and peaceful noise.
So the joyful noise we are talking about is please, I'm sorry. Thank you. You know.
Yes.
So that with what you are saying, it means we don't need too much academic long dissertations about peace. We can begin in practical ways from home.
Because a lot has been written
already.
Already. Theses, conferences, but now we have to translate it into personal life.
I know you as a person of peace. I mean, I've known you for more than 10 years as a person of peace, and you radiate peace. What is it that is responsible for your own peaceful disposition?
And I should give credit to my parents. I am a product of a peaceful home.
I'm a product of a peaceful home.
Yes,
congratulations.
I am. Thank you, Father. For them, they really...
So you didn't see your parents boxing themselves too often?
Oh, no, not if too often, never.
Never?
Never. Not even arguing. Never.
You never saw your parents arguing?
Never. Even if it has happened, we never.
The children never knew?
Never knew. Never.
Wow.
Never. We have seen the respect. We have seen the thank you on the table. A dining table, when my father asked something, my mother will give. He will say thank you. And it has been like that till my mother left. So we know that thank you is part of every little act. So I am a product of a peaceful home, and I know it is possible.
So there's a relationship between the home where one is brought up and what becomes of one in terms of peacefulness or violence.
Violence, oh yes. Because if you bring up a child in a peaceful environment, because you can't give what you don't have. So he will become a peaceful youth, then will go up
peaceful adult,
and he will contribute toward a peaceful society. It is, at times, it's when we grow up so in a way that even when you hear a hard word, you're like...
It's strange.
It's strange that, how can you say that? Do you really have to say that?
But it is from the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks.
Yes. So when the heart has not been trained to nourish himself or to keep only what is nice and good for the others, then people feel like it's normal because maybe that's what they have been hearing. But I have to give credit to my parents, to our parents. They really made sure that even when the children, because siblings, you have quarrel and co. We were many girls in the family. So if I chance we quarrel, my dad will pass. He say, I told you. If you wait till you are in your husband's house, if you want to go and do this, but here, as long as it's in my house, it doesn't happen. So then you drop the quarrel.
And he will give you example of himself and his wife and your mother.
Of course, he will say, but where did you learn it from? And my mother used to tell us that what they are telling us here is for her own house. Everything, nothing should come out of her house. You leave it at the gate. And what you learn outside as you go to school, you leave it at the gate. And when you go inside, that was simple. See, you leave it at the gate. It doesn't enter her house.
So the things you have learned from her, respect for one another, courtesy, fear of God.
Oh yes, number one.
Fear of God, number one.
And be put in practice.
Put in practice. And truth.
Yes.
Truth.
Yes. Simplicity and contentment.
Contentment, simplicity. Yes. Give us an example of what you mean by contentment in your parentage as you are being brought up.
Just to know that whatever you have is what they can afford for you, and you should be happy. To the extent that one of my siblings came back from school one day that she saw a friend with a bag and she wanted the same. She started crying. But I think my father didn't allow it. She received the beating of her life. For being desirous of having something that another girl has. Yes. So he said, but you have your own. Then you learn that what you have is sufficient. And you
learn to be contented.
And that has...
and they say contentment is the secret of happiness.
It is a path to freedom.
Path to freedom.
Oh, yes.
And like you are saying, path to peace too.
Of course. Because you don't have inordinate desire, I want this because this one has it. No.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that other people have it.
Not at all. It doesn't matter.
So you are saying that for me to recognize you as a person of peace, my parents brought me up in the fear of God.
Yes.
My parents brought me up in truth.
Yes.
In mutual respect.
Absolute respect.
Absolute respect for one another.
For one another.
Not just for your parents, but for your siblings. For
siblings and for people working in the house, helper, absolute respect. There was no, they dare not. First of all, my father will say, they are working for me, not you. Wait when you have your own. If you can afford, go. But here.
So the idea of some young child in the house being rude to the nanny.
No.
Your daddy says, they are working for me, not you.
Yes.
Wait until you have your own nanny to talk rudely to the person.
Yes, but here, no. Because it is not. Respect for everybody.
You see the responsibility that parents really have in raising children. I mean, what we have today is on account of bad parenting all over the place. When children, 5-10-year-old child is talking rudely to a 15-year-old girl that is their nanny. And then the parents are watching it and the parents do nothing about it.
And we know that was not, it was not possible. You can't even expect, it's impossible.
In your house?
Oh yes, no. Respect for everybody. Respect your elders, sisters, uncle, auntie, everybody.
And then, of course, many parents tell me that, oh, they are raising their children well, but that their children go to school and learn bad things. Your mother says, whatever you learned in school stops at the gate.
At the gate, yes.
You don't bring it in here.
In here, no. And if you say, I told you, you leave it at the gate. If you so much like it, when you go back, when you leave it, take it, continue with it, but when you come, don't forget to leave it at the gate.
Take it to your husband's house. But here...
Yes, but here, so we grew up knowing
that's called discipline.
Yes.
That's parental discipline.
You know that there is no need, it will not go beyond here, and that's it. And you learn.
Back to the World Day of Peace. Nigeria is in real trouble. Of course, part of Cameroon is also in trouble. I mean, Chad and all these places. We're in real trouble. What hopes do you have as we celebrate World Day of Peace and then talking about ceasefire? What hopes do you have? Because some people are losing hope at this time.
No, we don't have to lose hope. As long as life is there, we must have hope, because we have seen some worse situation than where we are. And this calling for everybody to take responsibility, that's what we should do instead of losing hope. To take responsibility and to say that peace starts with me. And
we should say peace starts with me.
Yes, take responsibilities. Peace starts with me, and I have something to do, and I will do no matter how little it is. It will change the way we behave and we feel, because we are part of it. We are in doing something, not just be victim of circumstances and no. It is like this, but I will take responsibility.
What can we do about the widespread drug addiction today? Because you see, as we talk about peace, we have to look at the causes. We are being told by experts that perhaps up to 40% of our young people are on drugs. Staggering. About 40% of our young people are on some substance that is turning their heads. That is for me very frightening, and I'm asking, as we speak of World Day of Peace, what can we do about the widespread drug addiction, which if people are addicted, if people are drugged up, then they are able to shoot people without thinking. They are able to do some terrible things. What can we do?
We should first of all accept that we have a problem. Yes. And in families, we should accept it. We should not hide it. Because we see the youth, we see the change in their behavior, we should accept and seek for help.
Early enough.
It should not be a thing of a shame. My child cannot be, and what will people say? And that will be the first point, that there is a problem and my child is part of it. I have to seek for solution. And the solution might bring you to realize that it started in your own home. And then you start making the changes that you need. So that, and we need to have more centers where people can come for help. Yes, and I know you have been involved in mental health and all these consequences. It's necessary.
I mean, it is, for me, very frightening when statistics say that 40% of our young people either are fully into drugs or have played around. Played around with some substance. To the extent that in this country they speak of science students, and the expression science students mean people who mix all kinds of chemicals as drugs. Oh yes, that's what they call science students in some parts of Nigeria. Very frightening. Yeah. Frightening.
Because if 40%, the future is
the future is in jeopardy.
Yes, it is.
And all these things we're talking about, ceasefire and talking peace and sound of noise of peace. How do you do that with people whom you can't reason with? That's my own challenge.
No, that's why we need to have those centers, and you have to have experts who can address the issue and have give the proper care to the children, but the parents have to acknowledge it and be ready to follow the child and take them to those centers, and not feeling that they are ashamed, because that is also the reason why it is escalating, because they don't look for help for the child. They say no, it's okay, it's youth age and so on, when they know that this work is more than that.
As we round up this segment of the program, I mean, to mark the World Day of Peace, can you put in 1 minute a message for the world? And I would ask you to just face the camera and tell the world your message calling for peace and ceasefire. What is your message in 1 minute?
My message is very simple. As we say we talk about peace starts with me. And the ceasefire, we need to cease the fire of anger, of disappointment, all inside me, so that I can cease the fire elsewhere, because fire cannot cease fire. So it's important to start with each one of us, so that we can be artisans of peace.
So that we can each be artisans of peace.
Each be artisans of peace.
May God heal the wounds in our hearts, the bitterness in our hearts, the hurts in our hearts. May God heal it, so that we can be agents of peace outside. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for coming, Mariane, and this message of peace to a troubled world. Thank you very much. And happy World Day of Peace.
Thank you very much, Father, and to all of us.
Thank you.
Happy World Day of Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.